Tonight at Sentinel Food Court Racer, the guard, who is a food court connoisseur and a racer around everywhere. Racing for the bus, racing for the top of the next hill for Strava KOM points. Daniel Wilson, that is me. Tonight, I will be discussing two words and how they relate. Emotion. An emotion is a complex, conscious reaction to a significant event that involves subjective feelings, subjective meaning individual, tempered by an individual, physiological changes, quickened pulse, quickened rate of breath, digestive stress, tightened muscles, loosened muscles, a feeling of love in your heart, a feeling of closeness in the mind, and behavioral responses. Eating lunch at my clubhouse today and then leaving soon after because I was full. I had done a number of jobs at the clubhouse and I had finished eating my lunch and I was ready to go home. Go home to my home, which brings to the next point fragility. My standing as a condominium tenant is fragile because there are rules of the condominium complex, and some of the things that I do skirts and breaks those rules. Here we will go into the definition of fragility. The quality of being easily broken or damaged. The quality of being delicate or vulnerable. I do have emotional fragility. It's not easy. I have fragility to flaw. When I got on atypical antipsychotics, it was a mixed blessing. And there were a number of reasons why, but eventually one thing that I am dealing with now is a really powerful addiction to stimulants, cigarettes, nicotine replacement therapy. At one point, even dip tobacco, vapes, coffee, tea, energy drinks. So, stimulants have the quality of, a lot of times, overpowering emotion with extreme feelings of strength, feelings of sensitivity to the very emotions to which they are dulling. And it's very hard to control. That is part of what makes my mental illness unique. Antipsychotics are central nervous system depressants in some cases, meaning they have the effect of slowing the breath rate, sometimes slowing the heart rate, sometimes reducing blood pressure. Um, they affect the neurotransmitters involved in the mental activity in the brain. They are psychoactive drugs, antipsychotics, affecting neuroepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin. And the thing is that when you go to a hospital and people smoke regularly, they have smoke breaks, and you've already been exposed to cigarettes, coffee, tea, it can kind of take hold for a while in the late 90s, early 2000s. Nicotine, caffeine, things like stimulants like that were part of mental illness culture that I experienced. Um, and the thing is that what grew out of that was something even worse, something even more insidious, which was energy drinks. Drinks loaded with 200 milligrams of caffeine, branched chain amino acids resembling creatine, ginkgo biloba, ginseng, just packed with that. And it's you see it being consumed, and you think that looks pretty good. The branding is plastered all over the extreme sports scene. The motocross, Red Bull, skateboarding, X Games. Now it's branched out into professional cycling. To some, those stimulants can help performance. You see people drinking water bottles with the logos of energy drinks, and you think, geez, that's probably water, because no one would guzzle a bottle of energy drink after some extreme exertion in motocross or skiing. And again, I will say that the intertwining of mental illness culture and stimulants and CNS depressants is a very slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope. It requires a huge amount of awareness. It acquires a huge amount of bravery to not always follow the path of extremism. And it involves honesty. During my second main mental illness break, I made a huge mistake. Huge, absolutely enormous. I was in a day program in Belmont for people with primarily schizophrenia, and one of my friends and fellow members of the day program said, if you really want to get into a psychiatric hospital, you have to say that you want to hurt yourself or hurt someone else. So after about a year of working nearly full-time hours, taking classes, again, may not be much of stress for some, but I did carry the diagnosis of schizophrenia at the time. A job that lasted until 2:30 in the morning, from 6 p.m. till 2:30 in the morning. And I would generally not be able to sleep too well. My Social Security check got cut to $30 a month. I went to a Bank of America in Harvard Square and was sold into a credit card with a $5,000 limit. I had a great therapist and psychiatrist at the time, but they could not prevent me from making a huge mistake. After maxing out a $5,000 credit card, quitting my job, taking and completing a pre-calculus class that was very difficult for me, my mood was at a tragic low. It was moody. It was dark. And I took myself side lip of loose tobacco with the hope to get treatment for my mental illness in a hospital setting and have my meds altered. So I told the nurse at Mass General Hospital a plan that I made up that wasn't true. And many people may doubt that this plan wasn't true, but you know what? This is honesty, in my opinion. And now that I have done research on ChatGPT, you can state a plan of wanting to hurt yourself and someone just to get help and create charges, legal charges against you. So while I wanted to get help, I used a woman's story as advice to say that I wanted to hurt someone. I was just in a bad mood. I was maxed out on a credit card. I had done terribly in a pre-calculus class that I spent hours studying for. Failed at a job where I was working 8 hours until 2:30 in the morning. And generated legal charges by telling a fabrication to a nurse. I'm not blaming the nurse, but I got one of the most severe egotistical psychiatrists I could dream of. And it's been a real challenge to get well since then. Thank you.